It's all on the line this weekend in the NRL with some fantastic games on in prime time. I'm Paul Grzadka, joined by Anthony Seibold, and today on the game plan we are going to look at one big game in particular this Thursday night, with the Broncos and Eels playing in a finals match come early. Seibs, let's start with the home team. The last time these two met was only a month ago, but it may as well have been a lifetime with the turnaround in fortunes of the Broncos. One player in particular they are missing is lock Pat Carrigan. Show us what he brings to this side and how coach Kevin Walters will need to game plan without him.
Well, we all know the work rate that Pat Carrigan brings, and the Broncos' performance against the Melbourne Storm, they missed 66 tackles, which is a remarkable amount, and they conceded 60 points. So they need to improve their defence. But there's a couple of things that Pat Carrigan does exceptionally well that the Broncos are currently missing. Now, to start with, Pat Carrigan, he is a ball player, and he's the link between the forwards and also the backs. Okay, so he's the guy that gives Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mam opportunities to be a little bit wider so they have less pressure from the inside. So in this situation, a few weeks ago against the Parramatta Eels, the Broncos are attacking the try line here. Now this is tackle 2. So Pat Carrigan's the ball player, and what he does exceptionally well, gets an early catch. He gives Adam Reynolds some time. So you can see all this space in here. Adam Reynolds, who's a very good halfback, he's an elite halfback in our game, exceptional kicking game. He sees that space. So regardless of it being tackle 2, he knows that there's space there. He takes the opportunity, executes the kick for Corey Oates, who scored a plethora of tries this year in 2022, and they execute the play. So Pat Carrigan, they are missing him as a link man in attack. But this is where they're missing him even more. It's the defensive efforts that he brings to the team. Now, coaches call this inside pressure. So again, I just want to point out where Pat is. Pat's the number 13 there. He's defending the try line for the Brisbane Broncos. Now, in the Parramatta side, Ryan Madison's the ball player. So not dissimilar to the example that we just saw Pat Carrigan play for the Broncos close to the line. Now, what we want to see from Pat Carrigan is this. We want to see inside pressure or a change of pace. So that means that Ryan Madison passes the ball a little bit earlier, which allows the right-hand side edge for the Brisbane Broncos to stay connected and can work together. They don't have to make decisions. So let's just have a look if we see a change of pace from Pat. There it is there. Makes Ryan Madison play just that little bit earlier. And as I said, you can see the Brisbane Broncos there. Adam Reynolds doesn't get caught up on RCG there for the Parramatta Eels. So they're able to handle that really well. So this is back to last Friday night's game against the Melbourne Storm. As we said, they scored 60 points. So Jerome Hughes out here for the Melbourne Storm. He's the key ball player there in this particular situation. So what we're looking at is we're looking at inside pressure. Who's going to put inside pressure on? So the person who should be putting inside pressure on is this player here. So he's the 5th last defender. In this case, it's Reece Kennedy. So again, let's have a look whether Reece Kennedy goes and puts inside pressure on. There's no inside pressure. So that means the halfback for the Melbourne Storm in Jerome Hughes has got all the time in the world to dig into the line and allow Cameron Munster and the players out here to have extra time. So you can see there straight away, it's a mismatch. There's 5 attackers there for the Storm, only 3 defenders for the Brisbane Broncos. Munster gets the ball, he's got plenty of time, drops off Kenny Bromwich there, the left-hand side back row for the Storm, and Justin Olam converts the try. So you can see that is a little thing that they're missing from Pat Carrigan with regards to the link in attack and the inside pressure and defence, but he does those things that people don't see defensively. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest area that they miss when Pat Carrigan's not playing.
All right, let's turn to the Eels. And speaking of star players being out and the impact it has, we saw last week how important Parramatta's number 7, Mitch Moses, is to their team's hopes. We've talked about his combination with Dylan Brown before, but let's take a closer look at how their kicking game can be lethal so close to the line.
Well, it's been a breakout year for Dylan Brown, but he missed his number 7 partner. Mitchell Moses coming back against the Bulldogs last week. They scored over 40 points after not being able to score a point against the Rabbitohs just 1 week earlier. It's the end of sets that Mitchell Moses does exceptionally well. So whether it's running on the last, but we want to focus on his kicking game to start with. And you can see he's got a great partnership with Dylan Brown. Again, if we highlight where Mitchell Moses is, there he is in the number 7. A little bit wider out is Dylan Brown. Now, Dylan Brown's looking for opportunities. He's looking for Mitchell Moses to use his grubber kick and that tactical kicking that he does so well close to the line. So Mitchell Moses goes to the line. You can see here there is ample space in this backfield here behind the Canterbury Bulldogs because their fullback's not covering the space. Moses and Dylan Brown see that. Exceptionally well executed kick close to the line. There's 4 points, which they converted into 6. This is the other area, and they got a little bit of luck this time. But Mitchell Moses again goes to the right-hand side for the Parramatta Eels. He's looking for opportunities. Now, he can identify that the fullback for the Canterbury Bulldogs is there, sitting on his side of the field. So he's looking back for Dylan Brown to get through the space. Gets a little bit of a lucky bounce there, but there's 2 tries on the weekend that Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown combined against the Bulldogs. Okay, last little clip I want to show you guys. And the first person I want to point out is Josh Adokar. So Josh Adokar has his back turned on the last play on a short side. Where he needs to be is he needs to be up connected here and allow the fullback to cover that space in behind the ruck. Now, he's turned his back, which is a no-no from a coaching perspective, but Mitchell Moses, we saw what he does on the last with regards to his short kicking game. This time, because he's seen Josh Adokar go back, you can see their step back. So there's a lot of space there that Josh Adokar has to come up to cover. Because he stepped back, Mitchell Moses is going to run on the last play. There he is. They get the ball out to Wonga Blake. Because Josh Adokar was stepped back, he can't make the tackle. And Parramatta again score a try on the last play. They've done that exceptionally well over the last 2 or 3 seasons. So again, Mitchell Moses, he adds a whole heap. So his combination with Dylan Brown is going to be crucial on Thursday night.
It's a huge game for both teams. Thanks, Siebes. I can't wait to see the result in this one. If you want to get to this game or any in round 24, then simply head to nrl.com/tickets. If you can't get to the games, you can still watch it on Channel 9, Foxtel, Sky New Zealand or KO.